What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stokastic here on the Odd Shopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Lanes, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Sorry for that. I didn't mean to. Oh, yeah, I did. Never mind. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great, feeling good. How are you? Awesome. I would feel a lot better if Shohei Ohtani just sat game 2. Whatever. We won the first bet. Game 1. We got murdered game 2 because Mr. Shohei Ohtani, of course, ends up playing after throwing 111 pitches. Don't put ice on the elbow. Don't do anything. Go hit 2 home runs and then leave the game with cramping. So dumb. 11-4. We'll see if he ends up being in the lineup tomorrow. Kind of an interesting subplot there. Lot going on. We have the trade deadline coming up. We do have a pitcher who got traded, making his debut, ironically, for that same Angels team. Going to be a lot of fun talking about this 15-game slate. I'll talk about BetMGM in a little bit here as well. If you want to get a head start, you can sign up for that in the link below, only if you're 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But yeah, I don't have anything else to add here at the top. We have 15 games, lots to get to. Producer Jacob here on the turnstiles, or the turn, is that what it is? Is that what they are? No, that's not what... You know what? Let's get to the picks. We begin with Detroit and Miami, but first, a turnstile, a mechanical gate consisting of revolving horizontal arms fixed to a vertical post, allowing only one person to pass through at a time. It's that metal thing that keeps hitting you in the nuts over and over and over again. It sucks. It hurts. We don't like those. Anyway, that's a turnstile. Definitely not that. Turntables. Waka waka. It'd be funny if Michael Wacha was pitching here after that, but he's not. It's 2 way better pitchers than that. We've got Braxton Garrett here on the mound for the Miami Marlins. Reese Olson coming with Detroit here down to Miami. You got to feel pretty good as a ball player getting out of Detroit and going to Miami, but maybe that's just me. I guess it is July 28th and there's humidity and all of that stuff, but there's also just things to do. Reese Olson, 479 expected slugging, 25.1% K rate. The expected slugging bad, the K rate good. Also, limits walks 5.6%. Not the easiest matchup against Miami, but a great ballpark to be jumping into. That is for darn tootin'. On the other side, Braxton Garrett does give up that hard contact, 47.3%. And the Southpaw is going to be facing a Detroit team that is actually closer to league average, 93 WRC plus against. That's 23rd worst in baseball. 7th worst in baseball. See how I had to think about that for a second. It is what it is. But Detroit just got completely murdered by the Angels on Thursday. Didn't even show up for their home doubleheader. Again, the Angels, they want to keep winning baseball games. Shohei Ohtani off the market. We'll talk about that quite a bit. But this spot, just pass. Under 8 would be the lean here. I like the Olsen stuff. I think he gets the ballpark upgrade. I think Braxton Garrett, really good stuff and gets in a pretty easy matchup. But somehow, some way, I don't want to be betting 8s where your 4-4s turn into 5-4s instantly. And it's just not a very nice number. I like unders with 7s I like unders with 9s. 9s are the best. Depends. Again, key numbers for unders 7, 9, 11. Key numbers for overs 8, 10, 12. I'll explain that another day. I've done a couple of those on Lindy's Locks update. I almost said Lindy's Locks Insider. None of this makes sense, and also I don't have a bet on this game, so I'm going to stop talking. Next, the Yankees. Oh, the Yankees not winning as much. But they have Garrett Cole. That's a really good spot here, and it's wild to see minus 125 here on Garrett Cole. In fact, I do believe BetMGM introduced a minus 120 right before this show started, so wanted to throw that out there for the people. That's even better than what I was anticipating. So, minus 125. Our sponsor, BetMGM, minus 120. Fire that sucker up. Yeah, and why? Well, it's Grayson Rodriguez on the other side of this one. Name recognition alone should kind of hint you in where we're going here. And, well, the big guy is expected back here. That is an interesting side plot. Yeah, don't you think? Subplot. God, I can't even say the right words of anything today. Aaron Judge expected back in the lineup here for Friday. Not a foregone conclusion. It's one of those, yeah, see it to believe it kind of a things, but something tells me the public might jump on this one pretty quick on the Yankees side when they see Aaron Judge there. So you want to bet this fast. Minus 120, BetMGM, that is as good as it gets. Minus 125, I'm fine with that too. That was the original line of where I was looking at here. Garrett Cole, 296 xWOBA, 27.6% K rate, 7% walk rate. Back to being really, really good. Is he Cy Young caliber good? Not right now, but he's good. Grayson Rodriguez is not. 51.2% hard hit percentage, 364 xWOBA, 286 expected batting average. All in all, my friends, we want to back this guy. We don't want to back this guy. And yes, we have seen some weird stuff out of the Baltimore bullpen of late, and they really only have 2 arms, even though I do like Fujiyama. I think that that's a good pickup by them. Got him for a bag of potato chips from Oakland. Why not try? He throws 101. That'll be fun to pay attention to. But as it stands right now, you get Aaron Judge back and you get Garrett Cole on a mound. Those are 2 big things going for you. I am shocked that this line is sitting here. I'm not going to lock it because I have enough respect for these lefties from the Baltimore side. But we're going to like it for sure. Yankees. Yankees win. To Pittsburgh we go. And Philadelphia here. 2 interesting pitchers. And obviously one is really down in the doldrums here of late. Not Zach Wheeler of the Phillies, that's for sure. But Mitch Keller. Comeback Keller. He has not been nearly himself lately. Or maybe he's reverting to his old self, which was just a lukewarm average pitcher. In fact, it hasn't even been average the last 2. He's gotten demolished. We're talking 10 hits, 8 earned against Cleveland, 9 hits, 6 earned against the Angels in Anaheim the other day. What is the overall common denominator there? Well, there's some lefty power, and wouldn't you know it, Philly's got that in spades, that's for sure. So this is kind of a prove-it spot, I think, for Mitch Keller, and that's when you want to start getting a little bit more aggressive and look at run lines. And one of the interesting things that I find about this game is that the 8.5, doesn't necessarily correlate directly with only a, 60-cent difference between the money line and the run line. It should be 80 cents, but I think the books are feeling the same way I am about this, where the range of outcomes on a Mitch Keller outing here is far wider than you want to give people. So if you were looking at a plus 120, I would be jumping on that instantly. This would have been a lock, but at plus 105, I'm still interested in here, especially because Zach Wheeler, 283 xWOBA, 350 expected slugging, 27.1% K rate. Overall, really elite stuff here in the NL. And, well, he's facing a Pittsburgh team. They don't have a whole lot there at the moment. Do they have G-Man Choi? Yeah, they do. They just traded Carlos Santana to the Milwaukee Brewers. So he is gone. That is a big bat that is removed from this lineup. Yeah, G-Man Choi going to be playing there every day. Connor Joe, right on right. Hey, Joe, where are you going with that gun in your hand? Nowhere good. Nowhere good, Connor. Shout out the GOAT. Jimi Hendrix, anyway. We're going to be going to the run line here on the Philadelphia side here. Better bullpen. Lots of lefty power. Mitch Keller been terrible lately. Yeah, I'm going to make him prove it to me. Philadelphia on the run line. I have a lot I want to talk about here, not necessarily a play, but the Angels, the Blue Jays, and what are we doing, Angels? Shohei Ohtani, after he hit both of those home runs, you just pull him out of the game, you ice the elbow, you call it a day. Why do we have him out there running and getting himself hurt? Hurts his calf or something? He had cramping? He had cramping going on? He ended up DHing there in game 2 after being unbelievable. Unbelievable. Complete game shutout there, 111 pitches. My read was that he was probably going to sit. And then I heard in the middle of the broadcast that they were thinking about playing him. And I was like, what are we doing here? No way. And then he throws a complete game shutout. 111 pitches. No way he's going to be... Bat second, DHs, hits 2 home runs, completely burns me. So all the ground that I made up, I lost in game 2. That's sad. But you know what? You make a stand and a man must have a code. And my code should probably not to be betting against Shohei Ohtani to do anything ever. That's my new code. We don't short Shohei Ohtani. We don't... Well, I didn't. 7.5 Ks. I was never going to short that. Anyway, Lucas Giolito, new acquisition for the Chicago White Sox, going to be starting here. Shohei Ohtani off the trade block. Thought I'd throw that in there too, but I did give you an update in the comment section. Hopefully you caught that there for Thursday's video. Cool, great, grand. Anyway, Lucas Giolito expected up here against Kevin Gausman and Yowza Scoob. Kevin Gausman, really good stuff. 3.18 ERA, 1.12 whip. All the underlying metrics look solid. And he gets an Angel team that probably doesn't have Shohei Ohtani in it for tomorrow if he's cramping and actually hurt. Again, You use Shohei Ohtani after a complete game shutout to win one game when you could have just put him on ice. I know they're trying to make a run here. Angels, they're buyers at the deadline. Interesting. I think it's probably the right move for them, but is what it is. They're going to have to be in contend with Kevin Gausman. Have fun with that. And Giolito on the other side of this one, I'm very curious to see how he stacks up against this Toronto team that's really, really good. I don't think anybody is going to deny that with a 109 WRC plus against righties. Doesn't strike out a lot either. 21.5% K rate against that handedness. But a 41.8% hard hit percentage can get him in trouble. A 436 expected slugging, a 19-degree average launch angle could combine for home runs. But he's still got the strikeout stuff. 25.8% K rate and a change of location. A change will do you good. Little Sheryl Crow on the way out. But I don't have a play from this one. Why would I do anything other than an under of 8.5 here? Maybe Giolito enjoys his new uniform. Maybe it looks good on him. He's a Southern California guy, but he's pitching in Canada. Grab that passport, son. Hopefully he pitches okay here. Would like to see the Angels be good, but under 8.5, just going to be a lean. Nothing from this one as it stands right now. Oh, friends. Cleveland's up 4-0, top of the third. Let's go. Let's get a lock across the board for the people, just for all the haters. Coming up. How can you... What did I do wrong? Just because I only give you home runs? Sorry. I give you the plus 400, plus 500 things that are harder to hit, and then went ice cold with locks for 2 weeks. But we've been on the comeback. Don't call it a comeback because, again, we're up money on the year, and that's the whole goal of this. You're going to go through the ebbs and flows, but we stay true, friends. 4-0, top of the third. I feel really good about that. Also, Cubs up 5-0 for all you like people. Afternoon games looking really, really solid. So if you didn't get... It's what it is. Good job, Shohei. Anyway, in this spot, interesting little situation that we have before us here as Touki Toussaint is the expected starter here on the Chicago side. Not confirmed, but that's what everybody's expecting it to be. And TBD, yeah, you know me. I'm down with TBD as long as it ends up being a pitcher that I like. I think it's going to be Xavier Curry, who is pretty good. 3 ERA, 3-0, 1.16 whip, but bullpen arm. Only extended to 42 pitches. 45 pitches is the most he's seen in a game this season. He pitched on the 26th. That would only be what? Set him up for maybe 2 innings here. I want to know who the bulk reliever is. I want to see who gets announced as it. Never a tried and true thing. Sometimes you get the 5 innings of Pivetta. Sometimes you get 2 innings of Alex Wood. You never know exactly what you're going to get in the longer reliever spot. But bullpen guys are generally great to be backing because they all do interesting stuff. You can play the matchups. If you're willing to expend it and just utilize all your resources in that spot, great. But this game is going on right now here. I'm going to be paying close attention to Tanner Beebe, seeing who on Cleveland ends up racking up anything out of this bullpen. A lot that needs to be determined in this one. As always, if you want to know if something shows up here, hit me up on Twitter at Eric Lindquist. But as it stands right now, if Touki Toussaint is going to be there, 35.4% hard hit percentage, pretty decent ground ball rate, but a 16.7% walk rate, 19% K rate, and I expect negative regression on his 5% barrel percentage. Just has to go up. So I'm going to lean Jose Ramirez to home run, but I want you to know I'm doing this because he's a switch hitting god, and he's been running really good for us, and I have good juju with Cleveland right now, which is not what you should normally hear out of a Twins fan. But I also like money more. Jose Ramirez to homer, going to be your lean here. Ugh, I hate that this is a play on the card, but you know what? Math wins out in the end, and math you shall get. Mackenzie Gore on the mound, southpaw, the cornerstone piece, him and CJ Abrams coming across for Juan Soto last season, going up against Max Scherzer. And normally, you don't want to go out of your way to bet against Max Scherzer, and I don't even think this is a bet against Max Scherzer as much as it is a bet against what this number is getting plus 1.5, you're minus 130. There's actually a minus 125 is the number that I ended up locking in on this. That is also at our sponsor BetMGM. So friends, be paying close attention to those numbers. Always find yourself the best one here available. BetMGM, they introduced some of these a little bit later, so it is what it is. But let's break down the pitchers here and why it is that I'm okay and I can stomach backing Mackenzie Gore to some extent. Max Scherzer, he's still been good this season. 214 expected batting average, 298 xWOBA, 27.4% K rate, but he's always been an extreme fly ball pitcher. He's got a 411 expected slugging, which is a little higher than you're looking for. And this team doesn't strike out in the Washington Nationals all that much. Yes, we tried to make that a thing going with Kadai Senga. We got 5 strikeouts out of him. I think we're going to fall murder by the hook, of course, because that's so frustrating. But is what it is. This just Nationals team, again, I thought Senga would get a couple of more calls than what he got. There were a couple of ghost forks. 0-2 to Alex Call ends up walking him in a spot where he couldn't get a call on the outside edge. It was really frustrating watching that game, but you should know you're going to get different crew coming through, which kind of levels it all out here. And Mackenzie Gore on the other side of this one, he is going to get strikeouts. 28% K rate. He definitely runs into a Mets team that doesn't strike out a whole lot themselves against lefties, excuse me. But 45.7% hard hit percentage, 342 xWOBA. It can get a little bit dicey here, my friends. But they've been playing DJ Stewart all the way up to the 6th hole. Mark Vientos has been in the lineup here quite a bit of late. You have an interesting top half of this lineup. Of course, Nimmo, Lindor, Alonso's starting to play a little bit better here, looks healthier, and that's the important thing. But I think with Washington not striking out as much here against a Max Scherzer, he's going to give up long balls. He has the profile of a guy who, even when he was at the height of his powers, did give up long balls here. I'm going to be targeting some home run props. Sounds crazy. Against Max Scherzer with this fly ball profile at this given moment in time. Also supposed to be mid-80s humid up there in New York City. So get ready. It feels gross, but Washington plus 1.5 is on the card. For a nothing more than a half unit. God, let's talk about something else. Like, I don't know, BetMGM. Friends, BetMGM, get yourself some access to another sportsbook. If you have DraftKings, if you have FanDuel, why not add BetMGM or Caesars or Bet365 to the repertoire? You sign up for that in the video description box below. There's a link. You click on it. It's super easy. And those other books, I strongly suggest having exposure to them simply because more books gives you an opportunity to get those best numbers. But 2 of the plays I've already talked about have best numbers available over at BetMGM. And why is that important? Well, over the course of 180 days of betting baseball like I do, you're going to run into a number of spots where it's like, oh, is 5 cents really that big of a deal? Over the course of 180 days, it is. So check out BetMGM when they have some of the best numbers. But that's not all, friends. You're also going to get 2 free months of OS Premium Discord. That is basically myself, Eitan Shander, Ben Raza, giving you our bets every single day. If it's something I put money on, I'm probably going to tell you about it. So get yourself 2 free months of that OS Premium Discord in the video description box below by clicking up and signing up at BetMGM. But that's not all, my friends. Also up to $1,000 in bonus bets back on your first wager. Here's how that works. If you deposit $38, I don't know why I picked that number. It just seemed like fun. $38 into your account. You wager it all on your first bet. Guess what? If it wins, you keep the money. Yay. Great W. If it loses, you get $38 back in bonus bets. That is a great deal. So look at me. Yay. It's the freaking weekend, baby. I'm not going to finish the end of that song because that guy's canceled. But get yourself $1,000 in bonus bets, up to $1,000 in bonus bets back in your account in the event that your first bet loses. That's a great deal. This is awesome stuff from BetMGM. So please sign up. Please check it out. Great stuff as always. Hopefully I see you in that premium Discord. It's only if you're 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Alrighty, y'all, back to the picks. We're taking over. Oh boy, do I like this play. And I thought about locking it. I really, really did, especially because it falls on that key number of 10 that I really like so much. But we have Adrian Hauser and the Milwaukee Brewers going into Atlanta. On the bump for them, Yanni Chirinos. These are really weak pitching options down here in Atlanta. Should I say Hotlanta, also expecting humidity. It's starting to warm up here. It took a freaking long enough here. End of July. It was like middle July it started heating up around the country. But just saying, been abnormally cool for some of these evening games in spots like Atlanta, in spots like the Northeast, in spots like, well, I guess Southern California's been hot as shit. But either way, you got Matt Olson, you get all of these crazy good lefties. I mean, Michael Harris, Eddie Rosario's been hot of late, or at least been average here of late, which is a nice thing. He has 15 homers on the season. I thought that was surprising. Actually, he hasn't hit a home run in a long time. Confirmed not hot, but either way, he's having a better season based on the beginning of his season than you might think. He isn't having a good season. He's really good, though. Remember him and Jorge Soler? How they just blitzed through everybody on the way to that World Series? That was wild times. Oh, Ronald Acuna's good. Sean Murphy's good. Austin Riley's good. You know who's not? Adrian Hauser, who they're going to be facing. 43.7% hard hit percentage, 268 expected batting average. There was a bunch of just junk pitches, but primarily a sinker ball guy, trying to get low contact. Not showing up all that much. 48.1% ground ball rate isn't exactly nothing. Does have a 6.8% barrel percentage to go with that, but I've brought this up before. Speed can be a killer. And I'm going to be paying very close attention to this one. They just got Carlos Santana. Does he suit up? Big question mark. Does Victor Caratini end up as the catcher as opposed to William Contreras? Because there's a huge difference in their catcher profile, in my opinion. Caratini, weak little baby arm. William Contreras, strong man arm. Very different guys. It's like Travis d'Arnaud, weak. Sean Murphy, absolute bullets. You guys didn't care about catchers? Okay, sounds good. Let's jump over to Yanni Chirinos. He's not good. 47.1% hard hit percentage, 381 xWOBA. I'm a little bit surprised that he's getting the ball here for Atlanta, but I'll take it. I'll just bet the over of 10. Sounds great. Either one of these teams could do this by themselves. I say that knowing full well that I think we lost a hook 9-1. Who was that? Took the over of 10.5. I don't know. It was pain and suffering, and all I felt was sadness. So over of 10, let's not run that back. Let's just ball score 6 runs. Sounds good. Knowing full well that if a game tied 6-6, that would be apocalyptic. It would have to change 7-6. We're going to head to the Minnesota Twins, the Kansas City Royals. Thought I would amend that before I see it in the comment section below. Eric said a game 6-6. Oh. Anyway, I really like batter props, especially some of these lefties from Minnesota. If you've been in the premium Discord, you know we've gone 3 profitable slates in a row with the Minnesota Twins where we've done, not round robins, but we've bet individual lefties from the Minnesota lineup, including also a Byron Buxton that we've thrown into the mix. And sounds like he will be back for Friday's game here after going on maternity leave there. He ended up going on the paternity list. Good for him. Congratulations to him and the lady. Good stuff. But how does this end up affecting some of the lefties? Joey Gallo ended up getting dinged up. I'm not sure if he ends up in this lineup. Trevor Larnach, not sure if he ends up in this lineup, but I suppose I should just back up and talk about what we have for pitching here. Sonny Gray here going up against Kansas City. I'm not going to attack him. I know that he hasn't been as sharp at times. 375 expected slugging, 23.4% K rate, and overall just knows how to pitch at this day and age. 3.15 ERA, 1.29 whip isn't great, not feeling awesome about it, but the ground ball rate has been exceptional of late. 10 ground balls to 0 fly balls against Baltimore. You need that to be successful, but still lost that game, gave up 6 earned. 9 ground balls to 2 fly balls. Fantastic stuff against Seattle. Also fell victim and lost that game, which is ironic. 10 ground balls to 4 against the White Sox. Of course, he won that one because it's the White Sox. 3.15 ERA, I already said that before. Sonny Gray, not who we're attacking here, but Brady Singer. Not a great year for young Brady Singer. He had a game against Cleveland, gave up 13 hits. It made me laugh. 6 earned, I believe, in that one. 5.55 ERA, 1.47 whip. Across the board, metrics on a baseball savant, 51.1% hard hit percentage. Not exactly what I'm looking for. 18.8% K rate, also bad. So it's actually what I'm looking for when I'm targeting him with hitter props. Now, I'm throwing this out there because I think there are a number of ways that this Minnesota lineup shows up. Again, Gallo, I think he's dinged up. Maybe Larnach does stay back from AAA before they would send him down. Our guy Matt Wallner isn't going anywhere, and I might throw a home run prop on him, but I'm going to be conservative here from the get-go. It's Kauffman Stadium. It's going to be, it's a difficult ballpark in general in terms of home run power, unless you're Sal Perez and you just hit it a mile, so that's cool. But I'm going to put Alex Kirilloff over 1.5 total bases. I'm expecting good plus money on it, and I've been revamping my model. I haven't had a ton of total bases props. I think Stochastic, our MLB Bet Pro, does a great job of encapsulating them and finding value there. I've had a tough time finding it myself in terms of projection. OddsShopper does a great job with the market-based approach, helping you find the best over total bases as well. But I've had a difficult time myself with it. So I put a lot of time and effort in the last couple of weeks trying to find value here. I'm looking at better than plus 130 here for Alex Kirilloff. If we get that on over 1.5 total bases, I am firing that to the moon. Again, pay close attention to the numbers. I don't want to just give you a play. I talked about Jose Ramirez before. I think it's the identical plus 350 we want on a home run or better to fire that one up. But this one, Alex Kirilloff, over 1.5 total bases. Anything over plus 129, I am okay with. We got Moreta Del Rey. Actually, no, it's the Tampa Bay Rays going up against the Houston Astros and high pitching. Well, Christian Javier has had a down year for what we expected off of last year. Shane McClanahan also kind of been back and forth here. Sub-3 ERA looks awesome. 1.16 whip looks awesome. But that Seattle game gave up 4 earned. Then goes to Baltimore here. His last start, 5 earned. It's kind of been interesting. The walks have kind of been a problem in both of those spots. 3 apiece in each. He's only given up 5 hits in both of those spots, but pitching not as far into games. Went 66, 69, 86 there in his last start. I'm not sure exactly what to make of it, but I do know Tampa Bay. They know what they're doing. They are going to go to a bullpen earlier if they need to, and that's generally a good thing with a good bullpen like they've got. So Shane McClanahan, one of the better starters in baseball, combined with the bullpen, even with Yordan Alvarez back, even with Jose Altuve back, not going to be a spot where I'm going to be bullish on Houston to go out and put up tons and tons of runs. But I also don't feel good about attacking Christian Javier, and I know Tampa Bay, over the course of this season, a 117 WRC plus, second best mark in baseball against right-handing pitching. And Christian Javier hasn't been as good. 457 expected slugging and a 327 xWOBA. That sure ain't it. Only a 22.2% K rate. But he limits hard contact, 36.7% hard hit percentage. He limits walks, sub 8%. And the four-seamer has been getting better. He has a 9.5% barrel percentage, which is abnormally high. Part of that is he's just not getting the swings and misses that he did last season. So by default, you're going to run into more barrels. People know and kind of figure out what you're doing, that's for sure. But the four-seamers look better and better, and he has 60% usage on it, actually 58.9% if we're going to be exact about it. Throws in that slider 32% of the time. He's a two-pitch pony. And if one pitch is starting to look a lot better to me, I have to be leaning away from it. So under 8.5, I'm kind of bullish on him. I'm scared of the lineups. I don't really know what I want to do with anything here with this game. It feels as though we should just be staying away with two really good offenses. And now one offense that's way better, getting Yordan Alvarez back, although left on left here, he's still really good against everybody. So I think we just pick other spots on the card. Sound good? Sounds good. Next game. We're looking at another hot, humid spot here for the Chicago Cubs taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. And oh my, benches clearing, they get mad. You have Miles Michaelis get ejected. I'm okay with it. I was on the Cubbies here, and let's check in on that one. 6-1. 6-1. Things are confirmed going well there, my friends. So there you go. But anyway, we're looking at a spot here where I think homers might be the name of the day. Jordan Montgomery, Drew Smyly. Does Jordan Montgomery get moved here? That would be a key. If I were the Baltimore Orioles, I would be unloading the clip. Well, you have a ton of prospects that you don't even need at this point. You need starting pitching. And you need lefty starting pitching in your ballpark at home. If you're going to be running the table in the AL East, I think they're a pretty good bet up against Tampa Bay here at the moment. But 3.37 ERA for Jordan Montgomery, 1.24 whip. Not going out of my way to go pick on him, even though 5 earned against the Cubs in Chicago last time around. Well, going into St. Louis, it's going to be an equally good hitting environment as it was that night. So, hot, humid. Yes, is St. Louis generally our spot to target hitting all the time? No. Has more to do with how good the St. Louis lineup is and how much power they have up and down the lineup that we're paying attention to. And one of those guys, well, that's why we're paying attention to it. Paul Goldschmidt just murders lefty pitching. I think a little bit less so this season. It's been a little bit surprising to me. Nolan Arenado, he's still kind of doing it as well. If you want to look his direction, sure, sounds great. Although I do think he gets a little bit inflated compared to what I think his actual home run chances are. Just a little bit of a tidbit there. You can ask anybody in my premium Discord. I don't think Nolan Arenado's been on my betting card once this season, mainly because he sits with a 42.3% hard hit percentage. Paul Goldschmidt, 52.7% with better loft. Well, not better loft. That's Nolan Arenado at 18 degrees, but way better. More than 10% better hard hit percentage with a 520 expected slugging. And they've been having comparable home run numbers almost all season long. It is wild to me. So Paul Goldschmidt, yes, Does he have, let me just double check this. Nolan Arenado, up to 22 home runs now on the season. Paul Goldschmidt, only 18. That is going to drastically change. It has to. The numbers say it has to. So Paul Goldschmidt, let's get over there. Let's go yard, my friend. Anything better than plus 375 is on the card for tomorrow automatically. 5 more games to get to. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell as we get to an interesting spot here with Oakland and Colorado. There's no line out here yet. If I had to guess, you're going to be sitting with double digits because you always do, especially when you get JP Sears on one end and Kyle Freeland coming off the 15-day IL to start this one. Last start against San Francisco, he looked okay. 6 1/3, did give up 7 hits. That's not ideal, but 7 ground balls, only the 1 earned that he gave up there in that spot. But his shoulder was feeling a little bit sore. Never a great thing to hear. And now he's coming off the IL, nearly 19 days. 19 days between starts here. So there you go. We'll see how he looks. But Oakland, you obviously know that they're better against lefties than they are against righties, but they're not exactly good. 92 WRC+. This has more to do with the ballpark, of course. Coors Field, best hitter's ballpark you could possibly run into. You mitigate a lot of the spin on the ball because you're at altitude. Good stuff. I know a lot of you care. But over to the other side of this one, JP Sears is the expected starter here for the Oakland Athletics, and that creates kind of an interesting spot where he's a lefty, and there is one hitter in particular who really, really matters and you need to be paying attention to. No, it's not Chris Bryant, who got put on the 10-day IL with a broken finger, got everything fixed up there. It's just like a hairline fracture. I think he'll be fine. Makes it harder to maybe move him here at the deadline. But CJ Cron expected back for tomorrow. Had to dig through the Twitter beat writers. Actually, it wasn't that hard. You just Google CJ Cron and you're fine. But yeah, went to the Twitters, found CJ Cron is expected to be back here, according to a couple of their beat writers. He had missed 4 straight games coming into it here, so be paying close attention to, and that's why I have this attached to it. JP Sears, I think we could be getting some value betting against him on the Colorado money line, even though he's been the best pitcher there over the course of this season for them. Him, Paul Blackburn, 1-2 in some capacity. It's like being the, I don't know. I was going to say something mean about no, I love all my ex-girlfriends. They all deserve love, even if they're broken people and deserve pain. I will be the better person. CJ Cron, though, over 1.5 total bases. I want better than plus 115 there, although in Coors, we'll see. We'll see. That might be a little bit dicey. That might be asking for a lot. But Colorado money line attached to it there for a lean. That's really all I got for you here next. You might be asking yourself, only 4 games left? We haven't gotten to a lock yet, Eric. Oh, but a lock you shall get, friends. The Seattle Mariners heading to Arizona to take on the surprising Arizona Diamondbacks here. Logan Gilbert on the mound here, going up against Tommy Henry. He's so good that I forgot his name for a second. Tommy Henry. He has a 4 ERA this season, so that would tell you, hey, he's not that bad. Are we really going out of our way to go attack this guy that you barely know anything about? Well, first of all, he's a lefty. Second of all, he has a 1.37 whip, so those are 2 kind of alarm bells you should have going off for you when he's going to face Seattle. And why is that? Well, Seattle, take him out of T-Mobile, the least hitter-friendly spot in all of baseball. You got this 26.4% K rate that, pitchers can basically try to go out and make work for the Seattle Mariners against lefty pitching. Well, 96 WRC plus doesn't sound all that appealing then too. So what is the big main reason that I want to attack Tommy Henry? He only has a 16.3% K rate, a 4.29 expected ERA, and this Seattle team, if you are not striking them out, they still have power. And it just creates a huge chasm between balls that get put in play and then how they project from a WRC plus perspective, because strikeouts, well, if you don't have those against them, I still think they have a lot more power than they're getting represented for in this number. Yeah, they're on the road, but that also increases what I expect some of their home run potential to be, even though this isn't the greatest ballpark for home runs by any means. It's great for doubles and triples, so there you go. But Julio Rodriguez starting to come to life here. All they had to do was put him in the 5-hole for a day. You've been bad. He hits 2 home runs, goes nuts at Target Field. 52% hard hit percentage, 268 expected batting average. Teoscar Hernandez, 49.6% hard hit percentage, 474 expected slugging. And Eugenio Suarez, we got a 46% hard hit percentage. You got Cal Raleigh, switch hitting catcher, 40% hard hit percentage. You have Tom Murphy, 41.8% if he ends up being the catcher or if they DH one of him or Cal Raleigh. You also run into this spot where Dylan Moore came back to life. He has a 54.5% hard hit percentage that he had nothing to show for, but he's healthy, looks as though he's going to be a lefty masher yet again here. You throw him at the bottom half of this lineup. I think Seattle looks a lot more primed now to be facing lefties who don't strike out bats. It's just math. It is what it is. Oh, and then I get to back Logan Gilbert inside of -140 against Arizona. Sure, Arizona, they've been righty killers all season long. 107 WRC plus, 181 ISO. But Logan Gilbert's pretty good. 295 xWOBA, 24.4% K rate, 4.4% walk rate. So, the much better starting pitcher there. A lineup that I expect positive regression for as opposed to Arizona negative regression, and pretty neutral in terms of how these bullpens match up. So why would I not lock the Seattle Mariners money line? I can't come up with a reason. -135, this should be north of -150 for sure. North of it. You would bet this thing I would bet this all the way up to just right around 152, 155. Just saying. Jump on now. Hopefully this line doesn't move for tomorrow, but I will keep you apprised over on my X. Yeah, my Twitter. Too much X talk today. At Eric Lindquist. Go follow me there. I'll let you know what ends up happening with this, but I fired it up for a unit. I think you should too. I got virtually nothing from this one. Like, virtually nothing. Texas and San Diego here. Joe Musgrove on the mound for San Diego. Dane Dunning for the Texas Rangers here. He hasn't been good with a 278 expected batting average, only a 15.4% K rate, but he finds ways to be successful with the sinker. And anybody else watch this San Diego lineup here of late? Are they maybe the most frustrating? Well, I don't like them and I rarely bet for them, but are they the most frustrating team to bet for, to roster in DFS, to do anything with? I would agree that they would be. And Dane Dunning, 3.18 ERA, 1.17 whip. Don't want to go out of my way to probably attack him, although the advanced metrics not nearly as good as the over-the-top, well, the surface numbers. That's what I was trying to say. Both of them are good for Joe Musgrove, 3.25 ERA, 1.15 whip. He's got a 32.5% hard hit percentage, 24.5% K rate. He's just been really, really good all year long. Sucks, though, because San Diego can't hit anymore. Speaking of which, we might play an under, but I don't play an under 8. Just a lean. Next game. Don't push me cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. That's for you, Dodgers. Thanks for coming the other night. Really appreciate the Kike Hernandez, the real show out you had for his welcome home. Get absolutely murdered. 8-1, not remotely close. Yusei Kikuchi made you look like children. But we're going to go right back to the well here with the Dodgers for a lock play. How does that sound, huh? Who's excited? Me, kind of. Anyway, we got Mr. Williamson on the mound here for Cincinnati, going up against Bobby Miller. 304 xWOBA, 381 expected slugging for Bobby Miller, 23.2% K rate, and that is way better than everything from the Brandon Williamson side. 360 xWOBA, 488 expected slugging, 18.8% K rate. I also think Elly De La Cruz is maybe he's fun. There's no doubt he's fun to watch. He's got a below 100 WRC plus. He is about as league average as it gets lately, but because he hits 480-foot moonshots in Milwaukee, because he steals home from time to time, because he does this crazy outlandish shit and throws it, 98 miles per hour for outfield assists. He gets a lot of hype, and rightfully so. He's a blast to watch. But I think we want to kind of tread lightly in terms of being bullish on him and the Cincinnati team. And, well, the books were pretty quick to hang up a crazy little number here, and I get Cincinnati's lineup. They are scary. They are terrifying. It's supposed to be 90 tomorrow in LA. It's going to be hot as hell. So, throwing it out there here, it'll cool down by first pitch. It'll be 85-ish. But either way, I think this Dodgers team is locked, loaded, primed, and we know they're going to make moves. They already made one. Amed Rosario going to be making his debut here for the Los Angeles Dodgers. That is a huge addition. And I said earlier this season that I didn't think it mattered in terms of like Ahmed Rosario, going and picking him up for Cleveland's purposes. I think he's not like that big of a replacement. But when you compare Ahmed Rosario jumping in there and playing over the likes of a Miguel Rojas, over, a Yanni Hernandez, guys of that caliber, this is a huge upgrade at hot corner. So him, Chris Taylor, Kike Hernandez, lots of dudes that they can basically, well, not going to be as useful here in this spot going up against Williamson, considering, well, he's not good anyway, but against other run-of-the-mill lefties, just saying, it's going to be fun to watch this Dodgers team kind of play the matchup game. It's going to be fun. And you got JD Martinez, lefty killer. You got Max Muncy and Freddie Freeman, power against anybody, doesn't matter what hand it is. Mookie Betts, Will Smith. Just saying. Expect runs. Thought about parlaying this together with the over, but I went just Dodgers on the run line, -1.5. I think they absolutely murder Mr. Williamson here in this spot. I think Miller does just enough to keep it at bay. Favorite play on the board, going back to the well. I'm terrified. And last game of the night, we do have something from this one for all you fine people on the way out. Happy weekend, friends. Logan Webb, Cutter Crawford, two pitchers I really like. And yeah, Crawford, if you just look at 4.02 ERA, don't just look at ERA. It doesn't do anything for you. Legitimately does zero for you. And if you looked at his 9.5% barrel percentage, 420 expected slugging, you might be like, wow, how could you possibly like his stuff? Well, I like the 225 expected batting average. I like the 24% K rate. I like the 3.73 expected ERA. I like the curveball combination with the cutter for strikeout pitches. I like the fastball that he uses 40% of the time that has just a 170 batting average against. Pretty straightforward to me, friends. And Logan Webb, he is the epitome of ground ball pitcher. We've talked about it all season long. He pitches in such a good ballpark. And yes, there are some lefties who can wreak havoc for a righty, but you take him into San Francisco, helps mitigate some of those risks. The 45.7% hard hit percentage, that's mitigated by a 60.5% ground ball rate. The barrel percentage, 8.3%, mitigated by San Francisco yet again. Great ballpark, great weather, under 8, super clear cut. Let's get out of here. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays for Friday's slate. Let me know if anything went well for you on Thursday. Hopefully we can get this like and lock across the board for all you fine video people. Also would love to see you in that premium Discord if you check out BetMGM. All you do is sign up at that link below. Get yourself up to $1,000 in bet credits on your first wager if it loses. And 2 months of the Discord insider access with myself, Ben Raza, Eitan Shander. So many sharp people, so little time. Come hang out with us. We want to win some money together. Thank you to producer Jacob. Another week in the books, my friends. You got Eitan on the weekend. I will be back on Sunday night. I will only be there for 3 nights. I'm heading to Monterey, California to go play some golf. That'll be on Wednesday. So yes, I will be here Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'm going to be going out for a long overdue vacation. I haven't missed a baseball slate on a weekday all season long. So I will be sad to miss you for 3 days. Some of you won't be sad, and that's okay by me too, but I'll miss you. Until next time, my friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Friday.